and I'm just saying about a minute, I would have not been able to clear the exam if Amer Ali would have not been there. I would have not been. The
Anand just cleared PMP like 10 minutes ago. Ali have cleared PMP with above target. Congratulations, Raheel, on clearing your PMP in first attempt. You cleared PMP exam with 5 above target. The best thing that anyone can do. 5 above target. Ladies and gentlemen, second student in 3 days, 5 above target.
I didn't expect it that I will get this result. I thought that I will be like target or like above target.
Thanks to you. Without your dedication and guidance, it was impossible for me.
You can see yeah, it is clear to you. Above target, above target, above target, above target. Do I have to read film book? Do I have said no, no? Like whenever he heard like this guy have read 5 times film book so many times, he always get confused and come back to me. I kept on saying him, you are going to clear, just read 1 time, and that's what he did. The purpose of this recording in with all the aspirants is basic so that they can learn how Atul did it. And I really like when you share journey in group because everyone learns different thing from every participant. Now, I believe there are a few things that Club said that motivated Imran and Umair. So the same thing has motivated Atul and other students that they are taking the plunge. So Atul, who cleared PMP exam with above target, and his target is very good. It's not just he's about little bit above target. He's very far on the line of above target. So let's hear from Atul just to put in the context. Atul joined PMP in batch 7. So Atul has a background of insurance. For all those people who says that a civil engineer, I'm a civil engineer, I cannot do, I'm a mechanical engineer, I cannot do. Oh, I am just an IT engineer, I don't understand predictive. So Atul cleared PMP exam with overall above target, and he did in a record time. How he did it, and it's an interesting thing. So Atul will share that, but just to put that in the context, he works in an
yes,
insurance company. Just to put in
yes,
the context, if he can do that,
yes,
he can work hard. Hard work is there, and he can do that. I believe everyone in the world can do it. So, Atul, congratulations first of all for becoming certified PMP. The mic is on you. If anyone has any question, please put in the chat box or raise the hand. Let the Atul finish his talk, his journey, his entire journey. Let him share, then you can ask the question. Please, Atul, go ahead, share your journey. The mic is over to you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Amir. Actually, a few years back, I did attempt doing PMP, but I didn't had Amir that point of time. I have
Oh,
to be
I
very
never
frank
knew
with you.
that. Atul, I never knew that.
No, no, I didn't actually give the exam. I think of many years back when our company actually sent us for those 5 day in a hotel, and then we found it. They had given us this PM book, PM book books and all. We didn't get the interest. We found it to be very, So I think many of us never attempted. So I never attempted for an exam, but we went through the 5 day of journey. But then that was long back. So I don't even remember that time. But that was a very different kind of a PMP. But I think I must admit that I think it was very interesting this time around. And I actually I have been into professional life for last 24-25 years. Rather, uh, on 7th June, I am completing my 20 years in life insurance. I've been like since the time the insurance started as a private, so I'm completing my 2 decades of insurance just now. And it wasn't interesting, to be very frank. But this time around, Amir, I decided that when I participated, I think it was a very good experience. The way, uh, you know, we were in a group. We come from various different backgrounds, different cultures. It was really nice the way, even if it used to be 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m., it used to be very different. So I think I felt motivated that this time around I would really put up. But yes, I was always away from those Monday to Friday WhatsApp groups because my office was a bit heavy, so I don't get time. So Amir, I get your late night messages and everything else itself. And it was difficult for me to look at my current profile. I could not do it, but it was purely, Amir, the way you have taken it up. And I think two of my colleagues have said, Atul, if in your kind of a uh, profile, if you can do PMP, then we are also motivated. And I've given two of my colleagues their number and saying you must do it. Amir will make you feel that you want to do PMP. So two of my colleagues have said, yes, Atul, if you can do it, we can also do it, because my profile is a bit difficult. It doesn't give me much time at all. It's always there on my head. So thanks to you, Amir. But one thing I would say, that what it helped me, and when my confidence grew, Amir, was when I started doing the mocks. Till the time I was thinking, no, it's very complicated. No, I don't remember it. I got 60-70% of the learnings from applying what we do in the job. So I kind of said, okay, if I am in a project, what would I do? And one thing which you told, and which you told me, Amir, last night at 4 a.m. Amir called me at 4 a.m. I was studying. I was studying till late because I knew I had to give an exam. And Amir was not aware because we had some communication gap. I have to travel on road after 2-3 days for a very long distance, 1,000 kilometers I have to drive. So because of some family emergency. So I had to kind of quickly decide on an exam date and said, let me do it before there'll be a 2 to 3 weeks of lull where I will be on the road. I'm shifting my parent because of COVID and all that, a lot of other things. So I said, let me just give it. I know I may not be able to clear it. So I think my official learnings also helped me a lot. I thought, if I am there in this project, what would I do in a situation like this? Will I do this? And then I applied that part very clearly. Secondly, Amir, and not because you are there and you are taking a video, the way you take us through, I think it is very, very motivating. Seeing Mojde, to be very frank, the way she became an expert and the way she speaks, I thought, boss, I will never be able to become like that. I'm not like that also. Although I've cleared the PMP, but Mojde is Mojde. Amer is Amer. So, but it helped. I think Mojde is, I think, and every day you send that thing that people are clearing. I said, maybe let me attempt. But I think uh, I told Amir also, I was happy that I didn't get too many calculation questions. I don't able to do it, but I think I found it pretty good. Second thing, which I said, my official learnings made me realize as to how will I react in the situation. Second thing is, just prior to PMP, I had done a PSM as well, Scrum Master. So Agile, just kind of is very clear in my mind because I cleared PSM and it was there in my mind. So Agile is quite, I like Agile, the concepts and all. Thankfully, my wife is also with a very big IT company, and we discuss a lot about Agile because she uses it in her company. She's a Scrum Master, so we use that. So that also helped me a lot. And but I think yes, if you think the way Amir told me last night, that when you cleared PSM, you thought yourself as a servant leader, you please think about the situation and then answer the question. And that's what I did today. I said, what is the right situation to do it in this? And most of all are situational questions today onto it. Journeys really help. I think I went through Amir's journey, whatever Amir shared, 3 to 4 times. I think last 3-4 days I was practically studying for 8-10 hours, and I had revised, went through the journey again and again, went through the videos again and again. Amir, your 3 hour video, it helped me a lot. It just kind of took entire thing and it just refreshed the entire thing. That helped me a lot. I was studying last time when you called at 4 a.m. I was going through that video itself, a 3 hour entire thing, and that kind of refreshed everything else. Then I slept at 4:30, and at 11:30 was my exam. So 10:45 I was there, login, and all that happened, and then it just went through. So
So,
bow to you, Amer.
Atul, before sharing this thing, Atul was very kind enough to put it in the light words. What happened yesterday was basically my batch 8 class, and so we were having session, and Atul was messaging along the way. So since I was too much immersed in the batch training, and I need to make sure that everyone gets, so I was reading the message on a random basis. So Atul wrote message, I replied him, and all those things. No? So Atul wrote actually a big message. I read that, okay, I kind of skim it. 2000 kilometer I need to go here. I'm a speed reader, I read it, okay. Then almost at 2:30, I was editing the video to upload. Atul message, I have taken a plunge. Now, although I was sleepy, I was tired, but once I saw the word plunged, I said, what do you mean by that? He said that tomorrow is my exam. You see, I was like, what? You have actually done only two complete mocks. You have only done two complete mocks. So I called him immediately. That call is saying that at 4 a.m. First of all, I was mad. Let me put it this way. I was mad. What have you done? Because then he told me, okay, these are the scenarios, and I said, okay, now tomorrow's exam we cannot postpone. Let's do it. Then we have a conversation, and then I calmed myself and I motivated him with what I wanted to know what he already know. So just to put in the context of everyone, although he had done only two mocks, but as you most of guys know, each topic I sent 50 questions. There are 10 topics. That means 500 questions. Then two mocks, 180, 180, 360 questions. Nearly 1,000 questions he has still done. For all those who think that he just did the PMP, he did 1,000 questions. And normally, if you go in other boot camp, they give you 1,000 questions and they say that for me it's very less. I like to be 100% sure before you go to the exam. I put more question, but he did 1,000 questions. And then the second thing, he was already PSM certified and with the agile background. So when he told me that thing, I asked him about agile, because I know exam is more towards agile track and predictive. He has watched my journeys and he told me that the journeys I have mastered them, and I asked few questions. He knew that. So I was sure predictive is covered. Then I asked agile and he told me in mocks all the questions are right. So I was pretty confident. I was scared. I was scared. Let me put it very fair. I love all my participants, but more than that, I love my record. More than that, I love my record. So that's why I'm risk averse when it comes to all my aspirants. I make sure that they're 100% prepared. That's a win-win situation for them as well as for me. So Atul did that. Now Atul, let's talk about exam. You took two breaks, and that was very interesting. Every break he was messaging me. First break done, I am very good. So I was very calm. After when he took the second break, he said that everything is fine. He actually sent the voice message. And he told me he had 100 minutes left for last 60 questions. So I was sure if he had 100 minutes, he's gonna clear PMP exam. So Atul, let's talk
I
about.
went very slow. Actually, in the last 60, I went very slow because I know that if I go wrong here, so in the last 60, I went very slow. The first ones I went pretty fast. But some of the questions, if you ask me, Amer, I found the exam to be, I should not say it, but
Easy,
logical. Yeah,
easy.
easy.
The
If I would have got 15,
reason
20
being
on or calculation, I would have gone.
the reason being that those 500 questions you did, the knowledge,
Hmm.
all those apart from those 500 questions, almost 480 question, 485 question are situational question. I have selected those 500 questions in that way that you get all the area. Okay, exam was more towards agile.
Yeah, agile was more on agile. Oh, sorry, exam was more on agile side. There were more questions on. Um, it was more situational. That what we, which I, the way I think your those the question that you sent to me, that was 180 questions. I think quite a lot of questions were there. And why? And Achan, let me be frank. No, let me be honest also. Um, I thought, to be very frank, that I'm going too early, but I knew that I will have 2 to 3 weeks of gap, and I only study on a Saturday, Sunday, and I had taken a leave on Friday from office, and Friday full day, Saturday full day, I was studying almost through the day. So I knew that if I don't give now, my continuity will break, and I was also worried that if my continuity breaks, getting the continuity back after my road travel will be becoming a bit difficult. So uh, I took the plunge because I think I was even thinking I might reschedule it. one day before. But then I think then I won't be able to get it back in the same motion. I won't be able to do that. So
So that's a good way. So Atul, when in the exam there was also no critical path question. Calculation, you said it again and again. No critical path question.
no, there was no critical path question. There were lots of questions on match the following. Like that means there were four boxes here, and you have to drag and drop. I got close to around 6 questions which were matched. So you have to identify the best thing. Another thing, Amer, which you told me last time around, is I used two things. I used two instincts. Whatever came first, generally remains the. I've seen in my mock also. Generally, that's the closest answer. What seems like the right question is 60% right. Second thing which I used is the elimination thing. This is not there. This is not there. Now I have a confusion between these two. Let us decide between the two. I think that's what I did. So elimination helped a lot, and first instinct helped a lot.
Okay. So let's talk about a little bit more about knowledge areas. If I'd say, which covered most areas? Stakeholder.
Stakeholder had a lot of questions. Stakeholder had a lot of questions. Then Agile had a lot of questions. Procurement had less. I could make out that procurement side, there were less of the questions. But I think resource stakeholder was quite a sizable number. If I just look at it, a lot of things were there, on the stakeholder side. Then there were a lot of questions on, as I said, around risk also had a decent number. Risk had a decent number in that as well. And I was also comfortable with risk. Actually, I was quite comfortable with risk. So that also helped me a lot. And thankfully, there were not too many calculation questions. And the question that you asked me last night at 4 a.m. came. CPI. That came. I remembered you that itself.
Okay, okay. So Atul, so that now for all the people who are listening, now Atul is sharing that there were less question on procurement. I just recorded the journey of Christine, who also cleared actually few hours before Atul. Her exam had only one question on risk and a lot of question on procurement. So please have a detailed knowledge of all. Okay, Atul. So what about scope, schedule, and cost?
Scope, schedule, and cost. Cost had a decent amount of questions. Scope and schedule was more than cost, is what I remember. And I was happy. I was a bit not confident so much on the cost question. I left a lot in my mock, but I think there were less questions on cost, but there were slightly high questions on scope and schedule. Yes.
What about compliance?
Compliance had close to around 6, 7, 8 questions, if I remember. 6, 7 questions. Questions were there on compliance. Yes, clearly on compliance. Yes, because they said that in terms of the contract, the compliance is not happy with the solution. What will you do? What as a project manager will you do? The cost, and there were a lot of questions on one stakeholder not agreeing to a situation in the middle, and as a project manager, what you do. So it had a new stakeholder, it had a new sponsor, it had also one or two cases where compliance said everything is fine, but they are not happy with the situation. What will you do? So what technique will you use? And I think one thing I realized that one thing which helped is a lot of words like which tilted me towards the answer is where it is more participative. If your solution is more participative, like for example, there was a question which said about
you cannot share the right exact question. You can just say the content.
Okay.
You cannot share the
okay. So there was one question which was around the fact that there were 2, 3, 4 questions around an employee is not skilled. What will you do? There were 2, 3 questions differently. Then you find that one of the project had one new employee who had joined as part of the project team, and skilling is not there, knowledge is not there, not able to do. So there were questions like, will you replace it, ask for a new person altogether? And I think almost all of them were there, that you cannot leave on people. You have to look at how you can engage them into be it stakeholder engagement or be it people engagement. They were more around, you cannot as a project manager say no, I will look for a new resource. No, or I will ignore this stakeholder. It was all about skilling them. So there was one, so I cannot say the exact question, so I'll not say. There was some question around skilling where there were options where will you let the person pay on his own for the it was required to complete
for the
that
mistake or something like that.
for the thing, or will you as a company, kind of, or as a from the cost budget that you have, will you use that to kind of upskill the person? So I think there were questions like this itself.
Okay, okay. So guys, whatever question you want to ask, you can raise your hand and you can ask directly to Atul. So Atul, your exam was quite mixed of all those things. Like in all the domains,
Yes.
the questions have, like I would say, all areas have good amount of question. Yes, Obi,
Yes.
please go ahead.
Hi, Atul.
Hi, Sabi.
Congratulations, Atul.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I'm so happy that you passed. I saw you preparing and appreciating Mojde when she used to do those flow charts. I knew from that time that you would do it through. That's
Sabi,
good
thank
that
you.
you did it. Uh, I had 2-3 questions, Atul. Firstly, you did your exam center-based, or did you do it through online proctored
No,
exam?
online proctor,
Okay.
and there were very clear instructions where I have a habit that when I read something, I need to speak, but
Correct.
you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to look here and there. They were very strict about that itself. So it was a and in between there was they even stopped my exam for a few seconds because they said something is running in behind. So I opened and I said all. So I had closed everything on my laptop. Nothing was there. I had knowingly. So I went and I saw nothing was open, but then
Okay.
they let me start it again. After around 30-40 questions, they did that. There's something is running behind. I said, no, nothing is running
They were
behind.
stringent here.
It was an online thing itself. And I chose the 11:30 batch.
Okay.
270 minutes, 10 minutes break after every 60 questions, total 180 questions.
So your timer, which start at the corner of the screen, started from 230 minutes or 250 minutes?
No, it was 270 only, if I remember. But if you don't take the break, that will not get added. I think so. You have to remove those 10 minutes from the exam. So the moment you come out of the break, your clock will show accordingly that time left itself. So I was in my mind keeping that I should keep slightly more time for it, and I did not keep any questions for review. I think there was an option of giving review, but I was spending more time on the question that was not getting the answer rather than keeping it for review, because I knew that I may not have time. But thankfully, I had a lot of time left in the end itself. So it's 2:30.
Okay. That's okay. It's 230, right?
Yeah, 270, 10
Yeah,
minutes.
you have
Usual.
the exam time is 230 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And the length of questions, there was a last question, like length of the questions. Were they like 2 lines, 3 lines, or they were quite big passages of reading through?
Okay. So I will say there were three category of questions. One which were very small, and you were able to just read quickly, and very small answers also, maybe like 3-4 words answers. There were one which were quite long, so it takes a lot of time to read through, and you have to read through it again with reference to the options given
Yes.
still. And there was a third category which were like middle size. So I think and then especially the questions which were the match, where they were giving two boxes and you have to drag and drop, that takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time because the question is big, and then you have to keep relating it and keep saying that, okay, I have to match this one. Then so
Okay.
you have to kind of spend a lot of time on match. I spend a lot of time on match the questions.
So the
But
smaller
some of the questions
questions,
are very quick. Some of
the
the questions are
smaller
very
question
quick.
compensates for that. Yeah.
Yes. I think the ones which are smaller takes 1/3 of the time, and there are some ones which will take 3 times the more time because the question itself is big, and if you miss something, you have to read it again. So
Okay. So, be anything else?
Okay. Thank you, Atul. No. Thank you,
thank
Atul.
you.
Ji, Imran
All
sir.
the best, Atul.
Okay, Imran,
Thank you
please
so
ask.
much. Thanks a lot.
Imran, please ask.
First of all, congratulations, Atul, and thank you
Thank you,
for
Imran.
coming and sharing your experience. I just want to know one question: the mock and the 50 question from each knowledge area you attempted. How much it was related to the actual exams? Means how many similar questions you've experienced in the exam, or similar uh, concepts or situations you experience in the real exam?
See, repeating a question is slightly unlikely. If I would remember, there will be very few questions which came thing. But if you do the mock, then you have. So what I did, okay, I checked with Amer as well on that. Wherever I went wrong, I went back into it in my mock and said what my thinking was wrong in answering the question. So I specifically focused after doing the when Amir used to send the mock and the answers. After doing it, I used to go back to questions where I done wrong. I think that helped me a lot. So from initially scoring around 50%, 60%, in the end, in the mocks, I had started getting 81, 82% as well questions right. The last mock I did, it came around 80% plus. I think that was helped because I reviewed the questions which were there on which I went wrong. I think that helps a lot. Yeah, I think I should have told earlier also, because then oh, I was thinking like this, but I think yeah, that's the right question. So how should I change my thinking? That kept on increasing the questions. And I think Amir, जो आपने last में दो भेजे ना 180 वाले, those are very comprehensive and very detailed. I think उसमें पूरा almost, if you do the same manner, you're doing actually a PMP, that Ramdayal, that question which is there.
Thank you. Yeah, Imran, anything else? Imran, anything else?
No, thank you.
Okay. Yes, Hassan, go ahead.
No, thank you.
Hassan, go ahead, ask the question.
Hello, Atul. First of all,
Hi, Hassan.
congratulations.
Thank you so
Big
much.
congrats. You are the first student from our batch who has accomplished this big achievement. Secondly, I want to know, were you allowed to use any pen and pencil while taking this PMP?
Actually, I was told that there was a calculator which is available if you want to use, but which is there on the screen itself. But thankfully, there was no need of a calculator. So they avoid asking you to keep a pen and paper. So they asked me to take photographs of.
Atul, let me put it in the context. I wouldn't use the avoid word. The word is prohibited. Any kind of pen, paper, pencil is not allowed. If you
Yes.
are giving exam in the home, everything, your desk must be crystal, must be fully clear.
Yes.
If you go
Yes.
exam in the center, they will give you pencil and paper by themselves. In the exam, in the software, you have just like this, the things I am using on Zoom, you can have the ability to use a whiteboard to write down anything with the mouse. Right now,
Yes.
like I write with the mouse like this, but strongly I say that don't use that. Oh, I've answered your answer, Hassan.
Yeah, I agree. I also what I did was whatever paper was there, also I removed it. I removed and kept it inside my drawers, and also that once I take a photograph, it is completely clear. I took a clean desk because that was a clear instruction that nothing should be there. All that.
Thank you. Yes, Nigda, go ahead.
Congratulations, Atulji.
So much. You're
My
traveling.
question is, what was your strategy for time management? You save a lot of time. Like, you can tell us more about that.
Actually, I was hurrying in the beginning so that I should have some time to do it. But I realized that some of the questions, I mean, very frank, I found it to be very easy. There, I saved a lot of time. So I was telling Sobina that the ones which are small questions and small answers, if I knew it, I was not making too much of a fuss to wait and do it. I kept immediately. So I saved a lot of time on those small questions. Some of the questions I took a lot of time because those were long and I had confusion between two answers. So there I spent time. So I think that is an advice that where you know and where you're confident, uh, don't keep spending time on that, because then time will be left. And I think that strategy, actually, I maybe just thankfully it worked in my case. I had a lot of time left. So I can say, you can say I was lucky also that my first thing was right. Otherwise, I had a lot of time left in the end because of this thing. I was running fast initially. So last 60 minutes I took a lot of time. I took a lot of time because I knew clock was there and I have enough time, so I can take a lot of time.
So in mocks, were you timing yourself?
I
That was
was.
okay.
I was keeping a thing, and I was continuously monitoring that how much time am I taking, and am I finishing it off. And doing mock was difficult at a stretch. So I used to do 120, and then I would take a break, and then I would, just to be inquisitive, I used to check my 120 answers, ki where am I, and then you should do 60. But here you get 60 minutes of break. One should certainly take the break. It helps a lot. You come back, you are stressed when you're doing it. So 8-9 minutes break is good, and then you come back exactly, because I think if you delay, then I think your time will be cut out of that itself.
So you are timing for all the mocks or just for the 4 hour mocks you are talking about?
Last two I was timing it. Initial ones I was not timing it.
Okay.
Last two I timed it completely.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Smigda. If anyone has any question, they can raise hand. So, Atul, I would add few things here. As you said now, apart from hard work, luck plays a great role. So, because if the exam comes very difficult, or if you see, now the trend is that the questions are not coming of a mathematical type. Critical path is not coming, but it can come. So far, no one has, you can, the first student who can have 20 questions on critical path, you cannot complain. And things like that can come. So at the end of the day, luck plays a great role. Thank you, Atul. Thank you very much for your time. So one last thing, 1 minute, one advice you would like to give all to PMP aspirants, what they should do to get there, to become certified PMP.
My advice would be that very clearly, um, apply a lot of logic which you use in your professional life. That helped me a lot to answer a lot of questions. And one advice which you said, and which I remembered, was that I think, since a lot of questions are there on agile, I think the servant leadership and collaboration, engagement, I think that if you keep as a as a check, it helped me answer a lot of questions. That, in agile, it's all about how you work together with people, and not just about people and processes and everything. I think that helped me a lot in choosing the right answer, actually.
Thank you very much. And I pray that for everything, the reason you have did it and all those things, because we discussed a lot before you joining the program. Now all those things can be fulfilled with this PMP. Thank you, Atul. Thank you very much for giving your
Thank you
time.
so much.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, one thing which is very clear, and I'm just saying about a minute, I would have not been able to clear the exam if Amer Ali would have not been there. I would have not been. The regular push, because I still get SMS messages, and Amer ka message aa gaya, maine respond nahi kiya, main padhta hu pehle. So I think Amer being there, it helps a lot. I would have taken it lightly. I had so much of pressure in office, but Amer is there.
Thank you.
Possible. Possible.
Thank you for saying that. Hello YouTube, what's up? It's Amer Ali here. Thank you very much for watching this video. I am so grateful that you watched this video, and I hope now it has added value into your PMP journey. If you have any question at any time, you can ask me on this number or email me. I will love to answer you. And if you have not subscribed, please click the subscription button so that I can help you in a better way. My commitment to YouTube is going to increase. I'm going to upload more coaching calls, more journeys, and more posts. So do join this journey and become certified PMP in less time.